students, I wish you are all well today. Today we are going to talk about Unit 11, Relative Clauses. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to join two sentences using relative pronouns and differentiate between defining relative clauses and non-defining ones. Relative clauses. We can use relative clauses to join two sentences or to give more information about something or somebody. First, we are going to talk about defining relative clauses and what we mean by them. They give us essential information that tells us who or what we are talking about. Example, the woman who lives next door works in a bank. So, here we use the relative pronoun who to give us more information about the woman who works in the bank. So, the woman who lives next door works in the bank. So, the information here is essential and new for us also. Defining relative clauses, we can use who for people. Again, we use who for people. Example, I met Layla. She is from Nablus. So, in the first sentence, we are talking about Layla. And we continue talking about her, but in the second sentence, we use a pronoun that refers to Layla. So, she is from Nablus. I want to add more information about Layla, so I said she is from Nablus. What I'm going to do here is to join these two sentences into one sentence. She is talking about someone, so we use who. I met Layla, who is from Nablus. Again, I met Layla, who is from Nablus. Defining relative clauses again, we can use which for things. We use which for things. Example, we bought a house. It's 200 years old. So, in these two sentences, we are talking one thing. What is it? It's the house. So, we have two sentences about the same thing. I think we can join these two sentences using a relative pronoun. But which relative pronoun? Here we are talking about something. So, we can use which. We bought a house which is 200 years old. We can use that for both people and things. Example, we bought a house, it is 200 years old. Here we are talking about the same thing, which is the house. And this information is very important or essential. And this is a defining relative clause. So we can use that instead of which. So we bought a house that is 200 years old. Example number 2. I met Layla. She is from Nablus. In this sentence, in the first sentence, we are talking about Layla. And in the second sentence, also we are talking about Layla. So we can join these two sentences using who or that. Why here we can use that? This is a defining relative clause sentence because it gives us information which is essential or important. So we can use that instead of who. I met Layla, that is from Nablus. A non-defining relative clause. A non-defining relative clause gives us additional information, extra information about something. We don't need this information to understand the sentence. We can use comma before the relative pronoun. We don't use that in non-defining relative clause. Examples. The study was done by students. They worked in holidays. We have two sentences, and these two sentences are talking about the students, so we have to join them using who. The study was done by students. We can stop here. This is a full sentence, but I want to add extra information, additional information, so I say who worked in holidays. Again, the study was done by students who worked in holiday. Number 2. Operation Deep Scan needed 19 boats. They had to move in a line. Here we have two sentences. They are talking about the same thing, which is 19 boats. Operation Deep Scan needed 19 boats. They had to move in a line. Here we have two sentences. They are talking about the same thing, which is 19 boats. So, Operation Deep Scan needed 19 boats. This is a full sentence, but I want to add more information to you to become more clear sentence. They had to move in a line. So, I can use which instead of they and join these two sentences. Operation Deep Scan needed 19 boats, comma, which had to move in a line. Here we add comma before the relative pronoun because we have more information, extra information that we can omit it, and we will have a full meaning for the sentence. Now let's do this exercise together. Complete the following sentences by using who or which. Number 1, she is the girl never eats breakfast. Here we are talking about the girl, so we use who. Excellent, because we are talking about person. Number 2, that the place develops new crops. So here we are talking about the place, which is a thing, so we use which. Number 3, I think Dan and Ken were the ones rescued Helen from the fire. Here we are talking about the ones, which refers to Dan and Ken, and they are persons, so we use who. Number 4, they were the things saved the team lives, so we use which for things. Number 5, last week I bought a new computer. I don't like now. Here we are talking about the new computer, so we use which. I wish you have enjoyed this lesson today. أعزائي الطلبة، بإمكانكم مشاهدة هذا الموقف التعليمي لمرات عديدة من خلال الكود أو الرابط الموجود في أسفل الشاشة. Goodbye.